Hello, everybody. It's the last episode of PPC Talk with Expert this year, and the last episode of Wild PPC Bunch for 2020, and we're closing it strong. We're having Stefan from Bobsled, one of the founding members of Wild PPC Bunch. Welcome, Stefan.
Hi, Lazar. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me again. Pleasure to be here on the last episode of the year.
That's pretty cool, man. How was your year? What's going on in bobsled marketing? Like, tell us more about, like, for if there is anybody in the world that is doing Amazon and doesn't know, like, who are you and which agency is bobsled marketing? What guys you do? Can you please tell us more?
Oh, of course. Yeah. So as you said, Bobsled Marketing, we're a fully digital marketing agency that we help sellers on Amazon, Walmart, and as of recently, Instacart scale and improve their sales on these e-commerce platforms. We've been around for about 6 years, I believe, founded by Kiri Masters. She's a thought leader and an expert in the area. Yeah, a crazy year for us, as I assume for everybody this year. So really glad we got a chance to connect on it.
Yeah, it's probably one of the craziest years in my life, to be honest, like on so many levels. Like, to be honest, it was really good.
Nice.
Yeah, like if
Nice.
we like exclude Corona and all of that part, like for me, like at the personal level, and when it comes to work and everything, like I think, like, because and I saw some of your posts during the year. Like, if you guys don't follow Stefan on LinkedIn, please do, because he's posting a lot of like interesting content and he's searching for a lot of good stuff on and posting about that on LinkedIn. I remember that I think you mentioned, and like everybody's talking about that part, that like in 3 months of this year, e-commerce grew for like 10 years or something like that. So like it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't remember the actual stats. I'm looking into grocery and consumer packaged goods at the moment, and like you said, if the adoption was like 5% now, we're looking to it being closer to 30% in 2025. And like you said, so much data saying that people went online or changed their shopping patterns or just adopted Amazon or all these e-commerce platforms throughout the year. I think March, April were the craziest ones. Everybody was getting on the wagon.
Absolutely. So you mentioned that you prepared some really good materials for the talk today, and
I said no
you
such thing.
Okay, you should do it by heart, you know. Like,
yeah, let's do it by heart.
yeah. So, do you have some predictions for the next year? Because this one was pretty crazy. Like, are you even able to predict what's going to happen next?
I like probably nobody can predict as this year thought us, but we can give it a try. I'm sure we're all very eager to see what it brings. And yeah, I do have some ideas which I think will reflect in the PPC world. Some of them have kind of been mentioned, shyly being mentioned even now. But all in all, if I were to summarize at the very beginning, I think we're looking at yet another strong growth year for Amazon in 2021.
Cool.
Yeah.
So basically, well, like comparing to like this year, I think next year that people are going to be maybe more focused on DSP. I think it's going to be more available, and maybe I hope so. Like that everybody's going to have more options, like retargeting and remarketing options. Like this year, I think this year was like remarketing display introduced to Amazon. Like, am I correct? I think so. So yeah, I think like that was like the shy start of something that is going to be even bigger and in the future. So I think that DSP is going to be like really big for sellers, and like maybe the basic platform, Amazon advertising platform, is going to have more options that are going to be like related to DSP as well.
Definitely agree with you there. That was going to be my first comment as well. I feel I'm not judging only by the DSP, but I'm basically making my predictions and judgment based on everything they've done on sponsored display. And it really feels like whenever we're talking to Amazon, sponsored display is has been on their mind a lot of times. I have heard, like you mentioned, some speculation that DSP is becoming widely available maybe early next year. Um, I don't think it's still confirmed, and I'm not sure of the format if DSP will become available or they will just translate to sponsored display and just make some of those features available for sellers. I think basically, and I think maybe they've confirmed this already, but basically, sponsored display advertising is becoming DSP light. That's a term I've heard them use it with. Probably not fully featured, but they will transfer a lot of the features to sponsored display and make them available. And yeah, I think my first and probably something I feel very strongly about as a prediction would be that Amazon is taking the performance, the advertising KPI driven budget, and I think they will attempt to persuade sellers to take some of that awareness, discoverability budget that is closer to DSP next year.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. To be honest, I never heard for the term DSP Lite, but I like it. And I expect that for the regular DSP, they're going to change it to Max Pro or something like that. That would be really cool.
I wouldn't expect them to really use it like publicly, but I feel like that was a way for them to explain what's happening with sponsored display. You know, we have custom audiences, we have targeting, we can retarget people who see our products or competitor products. So I feel like that's gonna grow. It probably won't be actually called DSP Lite, but it's definitely gonna steal things from DSP.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have some more predictions?
Yeah, I have a couple.
Yeah.
I really feel like I'm not sure if this is directly DSP related, but one of the things that I was always reading through this year was Amazon is hiring more workers, Amazon is expanding their capabilities, Amazon is buying more warehouses. And while I feel that all of the limitations are still in place, actually are there, I do. Sellers are still being restricted with the quantities they can send, I believe. If
Yeah,
I'm not
I think for new sellers that are using FBA, they are going to be able to send up to 200 units and to the warehouses, and that's kind of tricky to work with, and especially because like for the new products, you're not going to be able to like calculate how many units you're going to sell and everything. So that's going to be challenging and tricky. Like if you ask me, like one of the main issues. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like that FBM is going to be like something that people are going to use in the future. Like we saw this year when Amazon started like postponing deliveries and like not having new products to the warehouses, like people moved to FBM all of a sudden. So I feel like that's going to happen like next year even more.
Yeah, that's a good point, and it probably opens up a lot of opportunities for like these third-party fulfillment solution providers. Like if you're doing FBM, you're not going to do it by your own. You won't be able to. Any real brand won't be able to ship all of this. So probably a lot of opportunities going the way of independent solutions that have their own warehouses. They can do fulfillment, and I really feel like Amazon is encouraging FBM at the moment. Whether that will continue past the pandemic is a question mark. After all, it is making them money. But at the moment, if you need to have at least a backup plan to use FBM because, to your point, I've seen those 200 units kiss of death. If they give you 200 units only, I mean, what are you going to do? You have to have some sort of able to fulfill the orders.
Yeah, definitely. You need to have some backup. That's not going to be enough, especially like in Q4. That's like I don't know Well, you were a guest when we did 48-hour live stream, and like you came at the point when I was almost dead, like without energy or anything. I was like, let's
Was it
go
the
and have
second
this.
day?
Yeah, it was absolute madness. And one of the things that we discussed that day was like, is Amazon going to be able to provide like delivery on time for everybody that purchased during Prime Day? And it ended up that they were able to like fulfill everything and like to send everything like regularly. So I think that's going to happen like in the future more. Like they know how to deal with the problem now, I think.
They've dealt with it better than we were expecting. That's for sure. I saw a lot of us planning for like the Armageddon just posts like packages not reaching customers on time, packages being delayed. But I really feel like Amazon has met the demands, and this is why I am saying that recommendation. The only way they were able to meet those demands is they probably expanded on storage facilities and everything a lot this year. And assuming that things go back to normal 2021, that's going to go to their advantage. Basically, you will be able to send in inventory. You will be able to utilize FBA without any restrictions. And in the end, I think it's only going to go in Amazon's favor, because the more facilities, the more fulfillment centers they have, the faster they can fulfill orders closer to any cities that they're close to. And stepping outside of like the fulfillment aspect of it, and probably a little bit more related to the DSP side and awareness, educating customers side. I really feel like they're probably not done with video. So far we have it on product listings, we have it in sponsored display video, of course we have it in DSP ads, storefronts. I really feel like there's a lot more that can be at least adopted, implemented, and done with video. Brands are starting to utilize on the live video option there, just use it as a way to present products and communicate with potential customers. But probably a lot more placements can be dedicated to video within Amazon's advertising placements. Um, a lot more is definitely coming on that front, because even this year, video has taken up so much more space compared to what they had when 2020 was beginning.
Yeah, I think like whoever worked with video ads, they won. And like Amazon introduced videos in UK and Germany this year as well. And what's interesting, videos in Germany needed to be translated to German on subtitled. And that's something that was interesting. And that's something that is going to probably expand to other markets as well. I think like maybe they're going to offer more in detail targeting methods, maybe geo targeting or maybe device targeting. That would be really cool to see as well.
Yeah, that's definitely coming for sure. Basically, if they continue on the path that they started with sponsored display, it's going to go beyond keyword category ASIN targeting, and we'll just have these additional refinement options to see if we can improve our campaigns even further.
Yeah, I agree. There is one other thing that happened this year, and I think it's just started, and I saw your post on LinkedIn about this, and that's absolutely true. There is more and more chance and possibilities to sell your business, and you can see big companies like entering Amazon and buying smaller businesses and merging them together. We personally, like as a Sellers Alley agency, like we work with one of the biggest acquirers, the biggest acquirer of businesses on Amazon, Trustio. So like that's something that we expect to happen in the future even more. That companies like Trustio are going to grow even further.
Yeah, definitely, and This is really interesting because I think one of the stats that I was reading when the pandemic hit, it's like 300, 400 new sellers creating accounts on Amazon per day. So the competition is definitely increasing. But there are also other brands who just acquire brands who have the potential to grow. So at the same time, we have increasing competition. And on the other note, we do have this sort of Amazon allows this to happen is it allows brands to have multiple seller accounts if they have a justifiable business need at the moment. So this is something that will, I guess it's not too drastic in terms of changes of what's happening this year, but the competition is growing. This is probably what fuels the adoption of new additional PPC placements. The competition is growing, and whoever has a solid business case that Amazon will be here, I'm sure your partner is making the estimations of 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and they're betting on Amazon being a winner in the category when they're purchasing that business. So there's definitely a lot of brands who get acquired that kind of count on Amazon being the winner years, decades from now in order to be profitable.
Yeah, definitely. Like the, I'm pretty sure that it's going to go in that direction. And also, as you mentioned, Amazon is creating new places to advertise on the platform, and because of more sellers showing up, and like because of all the stuff that are happening, like, do you think that CPC is going to go up? Like, do you think that the spend is going to grow and making PPC more expensive? Like, I feel personally that a PPC is going to be like essential part of selling on Amazon. Like, you wouldn't be able to be like seen without PPC. But like, what are your thoughts about that one?
It has to, hasn't it? I mean, we talk about new brands coming on Amazon daily. We talk about Google and Facebook budgets shifting to Amazon, and then we talk a lot about the competition that's rising. I think it has been Amazon have addressed this very well by just rolling out new placement, new features, so you can kind of shift that sponsored products budget towards it. But at some point, CPC rates are going to get inflated. I mean, they will become more expensive. Uh, it's just inevitable. If we when we started exploring Amazon together, we were always comparing it to Google years ago, and it has come a long way from that. But if we compare Amazon to Google's prices, Google's CPC prices have increased with the additional adoption of sellers. So I don't think it's something that can be helped. It's definitely going to happen. It's going to get more expensive to advertise on Amazon, and it's just, I think what agencies such as Sellers Alley and everybody on that works with Amazon sellers and brands should probably get more actively involved in just educating clients and educating people who are working with Amazon that potentially, we shouldn't judge this year's ACOS or next year's ACOS but by something we had 3 years ago. But in 2016, my ACOS was 5%. Well, a lot has changed since, and advertising has become a lot more expensive than that.
Yeah, definitely. So it's most certainly going to be like increase when it comes to spend. And one other thing that I feel that Amazon is going to focus more in the future, and it's like heavily related to this topic, is external traffic. They rolled out attribution 2 years ago, and attribution is becoming like bigger and bigger part of Amazon world. And I feel like that Amazon is going to provide more sophisticated tools in the future to track traffic that is delivered to Amazon, especially if it's paid traffic, so people would know like if that investment made sense to them.
I think that's an amazing point. I've been really impressed. Amazon have published a couple of case studies on attribution. Apparently, there are solutions out there who are able to automate even this. They're able to update bids because they probably have access to Google Ads as well as Amazon attribution, because you will have the ability to update bids there. But if Amazon doesn't develop a more sophisticated solution, somebody else will. They have the API available, right? So with this in mind, if I was a brand, and even at this position, if I had the ability to seamlessly create attribution tags and automate everything from Google, Facebook, newsletters, anything that I bring additional traffic towards, I would jump at the opportunity. I feel like if that gets solved really well, I have something running on my storefront. I have a product promotion going on my product listing. Why wouldn't I send a newsletter to everybody who follows my brand? Why wouldn't I direct some of the traffic towards Amazon? And Amazon have to provide the tools to make it as easy as possible for brands to adopt this. I am familiar with several solutions who work on the attribution API integration. So yeah, I think maybe even very early into 2021, that can be something they start releasing beyond beta versions.
Yeah, especially because you're able to take API from Facebook, and you're able to do it like for Amazon. There is API for attribution as well, so you can combine the data all together. And
Yes.
like, really good thing, like for those that don't know, like what's the point of having like API? It's like two-way street. You're gathering information from all the platforms, and you can see the data, and like you can set different rules, and you can like send them back to the source and make change there. So that's what's positive, especially if you can combine different sources. Like by knowing what's going on in one source, you're going to be able to focus on optimizing some other source, like let's say Facebook ad or whatever you want to focus on. That's basically, that's a good idea. I would like to have that tool.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. So do you think that there is anything else that's going to happen next year?
I do want to share something that an interesting point that Kiri has shared, and I think she's wrote about this. So definitely not taking credit for this one, but Kiri's prediction includes Amazon will probably slow down or stop developing their own private label brands. I think this is related to that Congress. I'm not too familiar with it, but I know Amazon was in front of Congress this year, and they had a hearing, and a lot of brands were actually complaining that Amazon has products that are very similar to theirs, and they adopt it into Amazon Basics, and they release it as their own product. So I really think that beyond this, Amazon will probably hit the brakes on developing their own private label brands, and kind of leave it up to the smaller, anybody who's selling on Amazon, because at a few points, I myself kind of felt like there's too many Amazon Basic products on Amazon, right? It was becoming difficult for people to be there.
Well, everything is becoming basic. So.
Yeah. So that's something that's coming, or should I say not coming in 2021, but again, just a positive signal for sellers looking to grow even in 2021.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we are going to focus on in the future, and like that we started focusing on, is TikTok, to be honest, from our end. And there is one thing that I would like to see more on Amazon, and it's Amazon Live. And I'm not really sure how many like sellers are really using Amazon Live. Like, it's a really good way to present your product, and it's something that is already on Amazon. It's available. So I would really like to see more people, more sellers like explaining and like basically creating those lives and like showing products to potential customers. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm trying to connect this to that video reference I made. I'm seeing now that if a brand goes live, that stays on their product listing in the videos below. So just give them the option. I really feel like live is maybe something that smaller brands will appreciate more. Like, hey, just do you have a camera? Turn it on and let me speak to the customers. But that might be an additional lever they can have. They're scrappier. That's how they can fight off bigger brands who probably need all of these contracts and NDAs and planning to make it happen. I would love to be able to watch a live video of a product I'm looking to buy, especially if it's in electronics. You know, that's my hobby. I want to see how it works. I want to see what the main questions are, and I can do that in 5 minutes. I don't necessarily need to go through every review there and see what people are writing about. So this is, if customers are not going into the store, online has to give them all the necessary information that they would get at a store. And I think a live video might be a shortcut to that.
Yeah, for a lot of people, like it's important, like to have that tactile sensation, like to feel the product, to touch it and everything. And like, since you're not going to be able to go to the store most of the times, like you want to see the video of the product and to be sure that that's the product that you want. And one of the things that you mentioned now is reviews. What do you think about sellers not being able to answer customers on product?
Honestly, I'm curious to see how that plays out. I see a lot of people were surprised at the intervention, and I read the explanation that Amazon had, and in the explanation they said we are kind of removing this feature because it wasn't that used or something. I don't recall what they said exactly. I'm not sure if I would agree with that. I think a lot of sellers were utilizing this to address questions and answer people who are not happy and invite them to have a discussion and possibly resolve this issue. So I feel like the number of reviews have been growing this year because I think Amazon enabled that one-click review there. But the ability not to be able to answer to questions or comments by the seller, it's a downside. It's a downside for brands selling out there. I mean, how can you address the issues there? I guess you collect a few of them and you go to a video live. You do an Amazon live and you start reading through them.
That's a good one. I'm pretty sure that nobody like thought about it like until now. Like that's a really good.
This is why we need to talk more.
yeah, and like one of the things like that in our Amazon PPC 100 group, one of the posts that we had like a couple of months ago was about audio ads. I'm pretty sure that Amazon will find a way how to index like audio, because like when it comes to answers that people would sellers would have on their product listings on reviews and everything, like I'm pretty sure everybody was like trying to pick the right words, so they would be, because those answers were indexed, and like now without having them, like nothing new can be indexed there. So like they're probably going to need to find new way. And I'm pretty sure, like as you said, like do you think that they're going to include it in terms of service that you're not allowed to answer like your reviews in Amazon Live? That would be fun.
They shouldn't do it. I mean, if they're limiting it in the reviews, just give the brands the platform to address them, right? Why wouldn't you? I mean, you would just be playing against sellers there. And to your point, you think you're thinking this will be something tied to Amazon Alexa, like you said, just words and talking?
Yeah, like a lot of people are getting like feedback from Alexa when they purchase some consumables, like to leave a review, or after a certain period of time to ask like do they need like more of it, because like it's expandable. So yeah, so that's something that they're testing and they're like seeing what's going to happen next. Like from one end, like from one perspective, that's something that I would like to have in home more. Like I know that like a lot of people are really afraid of that kind of stuff, but on the other hand, I would still like to have somebody to like remind me about like stupid stuff to do, like to I sometimes do you forget to
Other
buy.
than Yana,
Yeah,
somebody else.
yeah. Imagine that. Or Christina as well.
Yeah. I have an Alexa, right?
Okay. Well, if we continue conversation like this, maybe we're both going to be homeless by the end of So yeah, do you have some other ideas what can happen?
Last point from my side, again, something that we were just starting to explore as we're looking to Instacart and how it works. I feel like that's a bit of a pressure on Amazon because I'm looking at Instacart service offering and they're partnering with Walmart, they're partnering with Target, and basically they have a shopper who can do the order in a few hours. And grocery shopping, you set an order, somebody picks it up for you, delivers it to your doorstep in a few hours. And I feel like this might be something that puts pressure on Amazon Fresh as something of a grocery service offering that they have. So I think we are going to see some new moves with Amazon Fresh in 2021. I can't really speak to what they will be, but I am pretty sure that Amazon won't leave main competitors taking over some categories that they can do something about. So I really think that some movement in the grocery consumer packaged goods as it relates to Amazon Fresh is coming into the new year.
Nice. That's really interesting to see. Well, I don't have any more predictions regarding Amazon. I expect Walmart to mature more, like to improve platform a bit. Like I had a couple of calls with Walmart this year, and to be honest, like it's still way like far away from what you can do on Amazon. But like I'm pretty sure that the situation is going to improve. Like you guys like do Walmart ads, like what are your predictions about that?
All I can say on that front is similar to you. I thought 2021, I'm not sure if this is the pandemic, more strategic thinking or anything is, but my main conclusion for this year is the acceleration of improvement of the platform wasn't going as fast as I expected. I still think it's pretty basic. I am able to transfer all the campaigns, everything that you have on Amazon to Walmart within seconds. It's very, it's still very basic, similar to Instacart that I mentioned, but somebody really has to challenge Amazon on the advertising set of things. And based on capacity, based on just locations, Walmart is the only one to do it. I'm not sure how prioritized that is for them, but at one point, that platform will have to become much more sophisticated to go directly competing with Amazon.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Well, man, I think we covered more or less everything in 30 minutes. We're good.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So basically, if somebody wants to reach out to you, what's the best way how to do it?
Yeah, they can send me an email, Stefan, STFAN, @bobfledmarketing.com. Feel free to reach out with any questions or any requests that you may have. Lazar, thank you so much for having me again. It was a real pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much, and happy holidays, and have a good one.
You
Bye.
as well. Bye.